Lil Man's journey, breaking the chains of abuse. Once upon a time in a small town, there lived a man named Lil Man. From the outside, he seemed like an ordinary guy, going about his daily routine with a smile on his face. But behind that smile lay a world of silent suffering. A life tainted by the scars of abuse. Lil Man had learned from an early age that abuse doesn't always come in the form of physical violence. For him, it started with his mother, a woman whose own pain had twisted her love into something toxic. Her harsh words and constant belittlement chipped away at his self-worth, leaving him feeling unworthy and confused. As Lil Man grew older, he carried the weight of his past into adulthood. He sought solace in relationships, hoping to find the love and acceptance he had always yearned for. Unfortunately, his search led him down a dark path. He found himself entangled in the arms of a woman who seemed perfect at first. But slowly, her criticisms and judgments began to suffocate him. She tore down his dreams, ridiculed his aspirations, and dismissed his feelings as insignificant. Lil Man's world started to crumble, and he felt trapped within the confines of his own relationship. The abuse escalated further when control became her weapon of choice. She dictated what he could wear, whom he could see, and where he could go. She isolated him from his loved ones, cutting off his support system and leaving him utterly alone. His voice was silenced, his spirit crushed under the weight of her dominance. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. Lil Man's suffering continued to fester, invisible to the world around him. Society had long perpetuated the notion that men should be strong, impervious to pain. As a result, countless men like Lil Man suffered in silence, their silent cries echoing through the darkness. But one day, a glimmer of hope shone through the cracks of Lil Man's broken spirit. He stumbled upon an article that spoke about abuse against men, affirming his experience and validating his pain. It was a revelation that shook him to his core, igniting a flicker of resilience within his soul. With newfound determination, Lil Man found the strength to break free from the shackles of abuse. He reached out to support networks and helplines, sharing his story with others who had faced similar struggles. As he began to speak out, he realized he was not alone. There were countless other men suffering in silence, desperate for a lifeline. Through therapy and counseling, Lil Man began to heal his wounds. He learned to value himself, to set boundaries, and to surround himself with people who uplifted and respected him. The journey was long and arduous, but he refused to let the cycle of abuse define him any longer. In time, Lil Man became an advocate, a voice for those who had been silenced. He traveled across the country, sharing his story in schools, community centers, and support groups. He aimed to break the stigma surrounding abuse against men, empowering others to find their voices and seek help. Moral ending. Lil Man's story reminds us of the silent cries that reverberate within the hearts of abused men. They endure unimaginable pain, trapped in a cycle of shame and secrecy. But it doesn't have to be this way. The moral of Lil Man's story is that abuse is abuse, regardless of gender. It is not to be tolerated or accepted. Men deserve to be heard, supported, and protected just as much as anyone else. To recover from abuse, the first step is to break the silence. Find the courage to speak out, to seek help, and to share your story. Remember, you are not alone. There are others who have faced similar struggles, waiting to lend a helping hand. Let us strive for a society that recognizes and addresses abuse against men. Let us foster an environment where men feel safe to share their experiences and find solace in the knowledge that they are not alone. Together, we can break the chains of abuse and build a future where everyone is treated with dignity, respect, and compassion.